it's my proud moment to invite Sandhya, Executive Director, VIT, to delve with this special address.
I'm honored and I'm actually humbled to be in the presence of her genius, Dr. Gangadeep Kang. And Madam, you are an inspiration to generations. And the passion that you show in serving the kids and citizens of India and the world to maintain the health of the world is amazing. And I hope many youngsters take you as a role model and show their passion in whatever they do. Happy Women's Day, everybody. And I have a message of my own to share with you today. And thank you for having me. And are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay, all right, that's great. So we talk about equality, and the thing to know is we are all born equal. Doesn't matter whether we're women, we're men, or the white, black, brown, belong to, in our minds, upper caste or lower caste or whatever. We are all equal. And we know that, right? We know that, and we know that in our head up here. But do we know that in our heart? I think it's important to actually know that in our hearts, because it's when you know and when you assume the equal rights that you can actually enforce the equal rights, and people will respect you for that. So the thing to see is, it's not just about at workplace or in education, but it's in society too. As Sailaja was saying rightly earlier, it's about how you project yourself and your commitment, and know that you have to respect yourself, and you have to take the support of everyone you can to achieve your dreams. Don't let anybody stop you by telling you that you're less than equal. I have a request today. I have a prayer to the parents of today, the parents of tomorrow. The prayer is to treat your girl child the same way as you would the boy child, and vice versa. Treat your boys also the same way you would your girls. And I make this request humbly because, see, just think about it, right? While you're, enthusiastically raise your boy child and encouraging him to prepare for the toughest entrance exams, be it to VIT or IIT or whatever. Well, while you're encouraging, are you making your daughter to support you in the kitchen with you? Are you? You may not be. Is your neighbor doing that? It's a story that we see very often. And how do you think that this will reflect on their lives? So what I ask you is, bring your boy also to the kitchen and encourage your girl child also to prepare for those entrance exams. When I look at the VIT stats, they're lopsided. The number of women that write entrance exam is far less than the men. And I looked at it. I did some sample research of my own, and I found that parents of today, even today, are encouraging their boys to, achieve in their career life more than their girls. And I am, like Sailaja said, I am a fortunate product of a wonderful woman and a man who raise their children equally. And I'm proud to say that. Why then am I seeing in this generation that inequality to persist in? So this is a prayer to raise them equally. And by raising men and women equally, you not only do a favor to your girl child, but to your boy child also. So teach him how to cook, teach him how to sew a button, teach her to, correct a leaky faucet. These are life skills that both girls and boys should know, that they will know and they will benefit through their life. So life is not just about, going out in the real world, getting a job and doing something out of it, right? It is also about being able to navigate through the relationships, to live through the day-to-day challenges, to raise children, to be, role models to our youth and so on. So raise your children equally, and they'll have much more fulfilled lives that way. So I asked the parents then, to actually, we all have equal property rights in most parts of the world, right? But are they really implemented? I mean, do parents really treat their children equally while giving out their property, regardless of gender? I pray that they should do that. And forget spending a lot on a girl's marriage, or forget dowries and all that. The girl is not asking for that. If you want to do it, don't take it out of her share of wealth, please. So instead of lavishly spending on the marriage, think of giving her something that she can fall back on in times of crisis. So, and brides to be, you don't have to bribe. You're wonderful as you are, and you're going to get a great husband. Just make sure you don't bribe your husband and set a wrong precedent at the beginning of your life itself. Please do not bribe. It's not worth it. And men, what does it say of you if you take a bribe and marry your partner? It doesn't speak highly of you. So just stop that system. It's the greatest social evil. We have to put an end to it. In my generation, I thought that we put an end to it. And I wasn't proud to see many of my friends succumb to that social evil, regardless their own belief system. And now in my youngsters, I'm still seeing it. And that's really something to be ashamed of. Now, when you're looking at gender stereotypes, you have to think about how it is actually affecting young women's career prospects. How you get hired and how you get promoted, etc. So let me ask you a question. When somebody tells you a pilot, a doctor, a CEO, a vice president, or president, what comes to your mind? You picture a man, right? Whether you're a woman or a man, you picture a man for these roles. That's how much damage the society has done to us. And the problem in picturing a man in these roles is this. When you're hiring for a role, especially for a role that had glass ceiling for many years, you're okay thinking of a man in that. And when a woman applies, or when you're considering a woman, there's a question in your mind, can she do it? There is a doubt. And that doubt doesn't come when you're actually considering a man. But when a woman is applying, you think twice about it. So that's a problem with gender stereotypes. So I challenge you to wipe out those gender stereotypes. And there is a small weapon that you can use in your day-to-day language. And that is called the she pronoun. So how does that help? See, when you're speaking about a hero, don't say. When you're talking, when you're just saying a doctor, a virologist, a scientist, say she instead. So force the community to think about girls and women in these roles and not just men. So it goes a long way. Who knows? God may be a she. Yes? So Sailu also alluded to this before, the pressure on the modern women to play many roles, and you would have seen this poster before, the Supermoms poster, and many versions of it, right? With a broom in one hand, a computer in another, baby in one hand, and a cooking spoon in another, and so on and so forth. And actually, a lot of men congratulate us for effectively playing multiple roles. And maybe you deserve the congratulations. But you know what? I'm a human being, and I see you as human beings. And I'm more passionate about your health than about, being a supermom or a superhero. So what I ask of you is try to have balance in your life, balance upon yourself, think about your health, You know, you deserve to be at peace. You deserve to have your own dreams, and you know, you want to watch TV, want to read a book, write poetry, or do some embroidery, or go play cricket. Do all that. So how do you do that? By the support system that Sailu was talking about earlier, and also by ensuring that the people play their roles at home. Let your husband pitch in, let your mother pitch in, father pitch in, and anybody who lives pitch in, your daughters, your sons, and so on. So you're not alone. You're not the only homemaker. You're one of the homemakers at home. Everybody in your family is a homemaker. If you make them do that, then you get your own time for your, a little more time for what you want to do. Whether it's, you know, do that assignment at work that you've signed up for, or watch that movie, or you know, go and play a paintball, or whatever your passion is. Okay, now this is a joke that I think most of us have seen on WhatsApp at some point or the other, or a version thereof, you know, but this very well depicts, right? A lot of men don't even think about it twice. They just, it's automatic. It's subconsciously driven into us. They don't think about picking up the cups after their coffee, or, you know, picking up after their, I don't know, when their child, you know, messes up on the floor or whatever. But I think this is, this about portrays it, right? While the husband is getting ready and everything, you know, the wife is trying to get her 2 children ready before she gets ready herself. And at the end of the day, women are labeled, oh, women are always late. Now, we are congratulated for being good at multitasking. Guess what? Men are good at multitasking too. So today, I congratulate the boys and men for multitasking through their lives. And if they're not doing so, for multitasking for the life to come. I think, dear boys and men, you're going to be respected a whole lot if you participate in life more by taking on multiple roles, by being a great father. And many of you are actually. I salute all these men who pitch in at work, in life, and at work equally, not just being that workaholics, but being you know, balancing life and work. I salute you a lot, my dear men friends. So, you know, we talk about work-life balance a lot, and especially in women's circles, this is more talked about than men's circles. And why is that so? Because a woman is the one that is struggling to keep her home at the same time as a career. And a woman tries to rise up in her job, and she has to compete with these men who are relentlessly working round the clock because their wives are taking up the burden at home. Whereas a woman has to do all that and yet compete with the roles that the men are trying to play. So that's why I say her work-life balance actually depends upon his work-life balance. What I mean by that is, if he plays a role more in life and not just work, she will be able to play a role in work. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And we have, you know, we talked about the gender-based roles. You know, you look at a pilot, you don't look at them, you think about a pilot and you think about, you immediately picture a male. And you think about a nurse, you may be picturing a woman. So that has to stop, because, you know, there's no shame in a man being a nurse, and it is possible for a woman to be a doctor. We all know that. We've seen many doctors. So, you know, those gender-based roles, let's get rid of that in our minds. Don't try to fit in a man into a role because you think a man can perform that better than a woman, and vice versa. Let's not be, you know, unfair to men as well. And it's okay to pick your roles. Don't succumb to social pressures. And I have 2 points in my mind regarding this. See, when you are wanting to be a homemaker, a sole homemaker. Everybody's a homemaker, by the way. But if you want to be a sole homemaker and a stay-home mom, that's absolutely okay. And I will respect you 100%, and so will others. But you know what? That has to be your decision. If you decide to be a career woman, it is fine. If you want to be a stay-home mom, that is fine. And if you want to be a stay-home dad, you have all my respect. So do not succumb to social pressures. Wipe out those gender stereotypes. Do what your heart pleases and do what is needed for yourself and your family and friends. Then what do I ask of these women who want to stay home? It doesn't matter whether you want to stay home or you want to go out. But the important thing you want to note is that to ensure you have the financial stakes in your life. Now, supposing you could be a B.Tech from VIT and you made this choice to just stay home and raise your kids and let your man focus on the career. You've done that, right? As did my niece, for example, which is fine. This is your choice. But are you controlling the strings to the purse? Well, you have my respect if you are, and if you're not, I have a thing to share with you. You must. Now, it is your choice that you gave up your career to benefit your family. So you have equal stakes in finances. So you don't have to have permission to buy a car, to buy a pretty dress for yourself, or to go help that poor child. Maybe you want to sponsor a certain person. I've had this a friend of mine, a stay-home mom, said, Sandhya, I want to sponsor that child through education, but my husband is not agreeing. Actually, agreeing is not the word she used. Agreeing wouldn't have offended me. She said, my husband is not permitting me to do that. That's a sorry state of affairs. So think about what you're going to get yourself into before you sign up for that stay-home mom role. If this is the way it's going to be, don't be that person. But you can't stay home if you're going to make sure that you have control of finances as much as your husband does. And it's absolutely okay to discuss. I discuss with my husband when we have big investments to make in people or in wealth or in our future. We discuss with each other, but it's not the permission that I'm seeking from him. It is the advice, or it is the argument. More than advice, it is actually argument, wisdom, and another point of opinion. And decision making is key. What do you want to be? Where do you want to live? How many children do you want to have? And what point of time you want to have those children? These are all decision making in life. And be a part of that. Not just a part. If it is your decision, if it is your life decision, you should be making it. And if it is a decision in which your partner is vested, you make it together. You are equal players. That's important. You don't have to, respect your parents by all means and love your husband by all means, but please don't defer decisions to them. Own your decisions, make them with advice from your parents, with help from your husband, but you have to make the decisions on your own. So, I don't look at men-women relationship as a competition. It's not. At work, at home, in life, it's a beautiful partnership. It's a beautiful partnership if you let it be. So with that message, I just want to wish you a happy Women's Day, and I want to sign off for a few brief moments. Thank you.